the truth! You can't handle the truth!
What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. I'm getting ready to go into, I guess you call it a deep dive, talk about some stuff here. And it's kind of dark, and it's not pretty or anything like that. And it has to do with a lot about the subjects we've been talking about with pedophilia and human trafficking and all sorts of stuff. One of the things I recently found out, and it's kind of disturbing, and it ties into the stuff about Epstein, and it goes very, very deep. This jerky they talked about in these emails and conversations they had, a lot of y'all heard about it, jerky. And we naturally assume that is some kind of meat. And you know what kind of meat I'm talking about. What I mean is they're talking about human flesh, perhaps even babies. There's no way to disguise or talk about any way around it. Use grown-up words because we all are grown-ups. So we know that they do this, right? We know about the underground facilities and the backroom facilities where they basically grow people for this source, for this food source, of sacrifices, food, or whatever it is, for the blood. You know, we heard all the tales. You know, it's almost kind of like the Matrix, guys, where you look at it. You look into this big place, and like he said, all these people in these bags or everything that's draining their bloods and their vital fluids out. Sort of like that. It's what you can imagine that this is going on. These places are underground, they're above ground, they're on the ocean, and everywhere else, guys. They're all over the place. These breeding factories, these blood factories, if you want to call it that, are everywhere. And how this ties into Epstein is, we know that he's talking about jerky. One of the things I recently found out is they have discovered a process, you want to call it transmutation, or alchemy even, in a way, but they would take the blood and they would separate the adrenochrome molecule. That's what they really like, exactly. You guys, you've heard about it, you know about it. There's no need to dance around it. That's what they're after. Now, we imagine that they would take it live from the source, right? Like vampires. But it goes much deeper and much darker. Is they have a process where they can separate the adrenochrome from the blood, much like they do when they spin your blood to separate the platelets and stuff like that. I'm not sure of the process, but I have heard about this. They would separate the adrenochrome and then dry it and lay it out into a thick paste, about the thickness of jerky. And this is what they've been talking about in this jerky, is pure, uncontaminated adrenochrome. And that's why it has to be frozen. It's because that's the only way it will stay stable without, like, dissolving or whatever it does, melting. I don't know. But it has to be frozen and kept that way until consumed. And that's exactly what they're talking about. It isn't meat. It isn't blood. It's the adrenochrome. You know, guys, when you go to the Red Cross and donate, they do that also. They separate that molecule from there. And yeah. When you think about this stuff, guys, real serious stuff, but Jeffrey Epstein and this is just the tip of the iceberg, what's going on, guys. There's a lot of stuff about harvesting going on, genetic material harvesting, and it gets really, really dark with that. So that's all I got about this right now, guys. Like I say, this is dark and deep and goes way out there. And if you believe me, which I hope you do, this is probably about the closest thing to the truth you'll get. Y'all have a groovy day. Even though this is a dark message, do something nice for somebody today or tomorrow. Y'all have a groovy day. Later, taters.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.